Small business is a part of all of us each and every day. It's where we eat, it's where we shop, it's where we go to meet our friends and colleagues. In the wake of COVID-19, our small business community desperately needs our help. We must do our part to help our local communities to once again thrive. We must focus our attention on the small businesses that are the fabric of our great nation. SureUp is a network of small business owners, their employees, and local consumers all working in unison to support each other. By creating incentives for consumers to think local before considering regional and national providers to fulfill their needs, we create local job opportunities and rebuild our communities. In addition, through AI-driven tools and machine learning, in just 5 minutes a day, SureUp assists business owners in improving their social media presence, which enhances their visibility among consumers and levels the playing field so that local businesses can better compete with large, name-brand online competitors. When local businesses leverage the SureUp platform, full-time and part-time employees, whether W-2 or 1099, are rewarded with a variety of voluntary perks and member benefit options. These include discounts on the things people do every day, access to low-cost, subscription-based telehealth and teletherapy, discounted prescription drug plans, connection to exclusive Prosper resources, and so much more. All for less than the cost of a cup of coffee each day. The JumpStart Marketplace is here to support the health and wellness of individual employees, as well as the health of businesses in the local communities in which we live and work. We're all in this together, so join us as we reinvigorate our local community and improve the physical and financial health of working America.
Folks, welcome back to the Marketplace Reset, broadcasting live on WSCX 970 AM, as well as live on La Mega Mundial. And we're also broadcasting on Tempo Television Network, on cable TV, and we're broadcasting and streaming on www.jumpstarteconomy.us, JumpStart TV, also on the Callaloo Network, as well as on all the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, you name it, we're on it. So let me continue with the discussion here with my colleague, Terry Coxum, as we had wrapped up the first segment of the program. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to just kind of give you a sense of the current numbers, what the current status are, what the reports are in terms of where we are with COVID-19 and the pandemic. And so let's take a look at the numbers as we speak. As of today, November 18th, we're looking at the leading economic indicator is the virus. More than one analyst has put it to us this way, according to the marketplace, as we try to understand and quantify this unprecedented global economic collapse and now the attempted restart. We're following key metrics for COVID-19 and the broader economy. As of reported as of yesterday, U.S. COVID-19 death reported was 1,567 and rising. Again, that number of death was 1,567 and rising. U.S. COVID-19 new cases yesterday, 155,835. That number is rising. Again, U.S. COVID-19 new cases yesterday, 155,835 cases. That number is going up. Daily new tests reported in the U.S., 1.7 million tests, which is a record high, never been established before, never have been done before. As of yesterday, daily new tests reported in the U.S., 1.7 million new COVID tests being done. COVID patients now in hospital, 76,823. Again, that number is also record high. Record high of patients in the hospital is 76,823. companies planning not to give employees a year-end bonus in 2020? 20%. 20% of companies are not planning to give year-end bonus in 2020. No surprise there. Now, how COVID-19 has affected companies' businesses? Negatively, 52%. Positively, 14%. Some segments positive, some segment negative. That's 17%. No impact, 17%. And so you look at the numbers and how it's being affected. Change in average weekly hourly earnings. We're looking at a 12-month percent change in real average weekly and hourly earnings for all employees as of report between January 10th to October 2020. And the numbers are obviously, when we look at the change in real average earning, those numbers have gone up over time from between 2010, where it was around actually minus 1% to now upwards to now 7.5% in 2020. All right, let me see if my colleague Kenny, my colleague Terry is there. Terry, let's see. Terry, hey, Terry, what's going on?
All right. Those numbers are astonishing numbers. I mean, looking at the number of individuals that are in the hospital, 76,000, it's a huge number. Again, we're not surprised about a year-end bonus because a lot of businesses are struggling. And even those businesses that have a high net worth, they're still trying to adapt. They're adapting to a lot of things. One of the things that we're seeing a lot more of is telework, right? More people working from home. And so, you know, you have to put the systems in place to make sure that that's possible. And so I'm not surprised by that. But I am a little surprised by 17% not being affected at all, impacted at all. That's interesting, that 17%.
You're surprised by that? Why is that?
Number? Because it just feels like, and I guess because we're in this space, it feels like everybody and every business is impacted by COVID. And so when I see a number like a double-digit number like 17% not being impacted, I'm a little surprised by that. Does it give you the industries that are not being impacted?
I didn't click on it.
Okay, that's interesting though.
Okay, so let me recap that, right? Okay, so the question is how COVID-19 has affected companies' business, right? So negatively, I guess no surprises there, right? I thought the numbers would be a little higher than 52%, to be honest with you, though. When we think of negative, so it's really at par, right? 50% of companies have been affected negatively by COVID-19.
Right.
I thought the number would be higher. Is it me, or would you?
I thought the number would be higher as well because of all of the stories that we're hearing, and then the number of businesses that have closed that will never open again. That's why I thought the number would be higher. So you know, there's a significant amount of businesses that just will never open again because of what the impact of COVID-19. So that's why I thought that 52% number would lean a little closer to 70%, to be honest with you. But that's an interesting number, the 52%. And then what was the other number?
Yeah, positively 14%.
I can see that as well. That's no surprise there either.
Yeah, that number, I can agree with. It's that's a very it's a low number. And I can only imagine the industries of the businesses that were not impacted negatively by COVID-19. So I thought that would be in line, right?
Or even not impacted, but those that were actually given a fresh start. Remember, we were talking to Linda and to Carolyn and some of the businesses. Remember, the doctor was on the phone and she was talking about how her business was reinfused by COVID, right? So the telemedicine and those industries, you know, they were actually given an opportunity to, you know, to be able to do more business in the COVID time because of the technology that they had in place, right? So, you know, those businesses, the PPE equipment, you know, those businesses that are supplying that, those are businesses that are much needed now, the hand sanitizers and all of that other stuff. So I can see that 14% being positively impacted. And even some of the businesses, I have a business here in New York that they do glass. They're in a glass business and a plexiglass business. And so their business has picked up they have an uptick in business because of the partitions, right? So the partitions in space. There are businesses now, there are contractors that are now being hired for the outdoor space, right? So those are businesses that didn't exist in that time that are now a part of this new equation. Is 14% being positively affected by COVID-19, because they're actually able to come in and do things that we wouldn't traditionally have asked them to do in the past. So I can see that. But the 52% seems still a little low to me as far as
I'm like, that's really low, you know. And looking at the also it's also reported that the U.S. economy loses 701,000 jobs.
Wow.
701,000 jobs the U.S. economy has lost. Unemployment rise to well, hold on. Let me make sure I'm reading that right. And hold on a second. Okay, so this was back in April, so this is kind of dated.
Okay.
That's really dated. So let me not share that with our listeners and audience. But yeah, I mean, the numbers to me, I thought are strikingly in terms of how many businesses felt they were impacted. When you think of the number of carnage of businesses going out of, closing the door, you're absolutely correct.
Evidently.
You know. So let's talk about what can be done to help these businesses. You started out and you talked about what kind of sort of funding mechanism that are available, in terms of loans and stuff like that.
And grant. There's some public
and grant. So the first one on the list here, talk to us a little bit, Terry, when you disaster loans. Does disaster apply in the pandemic, or is that would not be applicable?
That is what applied in the pandemic. So there are disaster loans. So there were two types of SBA loans that were being offered to small business loans because of the pandemic, because of the disaster, because of the loss of job. That 701,000 jobs being lost, the unemployment rate. A lot of people are now more on unemployment. The whole the government stimulus package to try to get people back to work or to get money back into the economy. So yeah, that's a disaster. So the economic injury disaster loan is a small business loan, a low percentage loan where small businesses are able to apply for assistance from the SBA. The process has been streamlined significantly, and so you're putting in your numbers and you're getting your answers. There was up until like 7 days, you're getting it less than 7 days, you're getting an answer about the amount of money that the small business would have. The other one was the payroll protection program, and that one has they were looking to put more money in it. I don't know, it's going back and forth with our government in the transition, to be diplomatic, right?
Yeah.
So and that loan was for payroll. That loan was really encouraging small businesses to keep people on payroll, even if they weren't open, right? And so if you continue to pay your employees during that period, then 75% of the loan was forgiven.
But how effective was it, though? And I want to ask you this because obviously, you being the former small business advocate under the Obama administration, they were talking about how the PPP program was riddled with fraud. People who exploited the system took advantage of the system, and quite frankly, there's some people who really needed it and couldn't get it. And so did the money get to those businesses who really needed it, or is it those people who were basically savvy enough to know how to work the system that they benefited from it and they really didn't need it? So we're hearing a lot of where with the federal government, Treasury, SBA is now being forced to now forgive a number of these PPP loans as opposed to having to pay back for these loans in a form of a grant. And then the economic, the economic disaster, economic recovery.
EIDL loan, economic injury disaster loan.
Right. And that you have to pay back for. Do you, in your opinion, do you think the program worked the way it should have?
So I think a combination of two things. I think the program had to be tweaked after its initial offering, because even though those businesses were considered big businesses, according to the rules as they were written, they were still eligible to receive those loans. And so it wasn't until, that it was noticed that companies that really didn't need the benefit of that loan were getting them, was when the rules had to really be tweaked, right? So that's number one. Number two is individuals that applied for the loan, and I even helped some of my small businesses get a loan, who had their paperwork. And I think we talked about this before. If you had a business bank account, if you filed your taxes, if you were able to produce the documents and the process was streamlined, if you were able to produce the documents, you were able to turn that around pretty quickly. A lot of the banks were doing it, and other lending institutions were doing a loan, and they were walking you through the process. But if you came to the state where you were applying for the loan and you didn't have an EIN number, you didn't have your business wasn't organized under any of the business models, whether it was an LLC, a partnership, or any of them, right? And so you didn't have an EIN number, you weren't paying taxes, you didn't have your financials in order, then you weren't able to get the loan, because you did have some criteria that had to be followed. And so even a couple of businesses that came to me, I had to really walk them through the paperwork that was needed in order to apply for the payroll protection program. And no one had walked them through it. And so if you're not able to get your paperwork in, you weren't eligible for the loan. And so that's what happened. And those people really needed it, but they didn't have their paperwork in order. And that's the thing that we talk about on this show, is making sure you're ready so you don't have to get ready, right? So small businesses, we need you to, if you're a small business and you need your articles of organization, you need to say that you are organized in your state as a small business, or in the Commonwealth, or if you're in the territories, you need to have those articles, right? You need to file your taxes. You need to have an EIN number so that you are able to do business under your EIN number. You need to make sure that your taxes are done and they're up to par. And a lot of times businesses get in trouble with their tax preparers trying to zero out, and it shows that you don't have any profit. So now you're not eligible for the amount of loan that you believe that you may have been eligible for, because you zeroed out, or you're showing that there was a loss, right? So there was a lot of different things in place with the loan, like any other loan, right? There was a lot of things that needed to be, boxes that needed to be checked. And some of the small businesses just weren't equipped at that point to do it. And so what I'm saying to all the listeners on today is, make sure, one, you have a tax preparer and you're doing your taxes, you have an EIN number, your business is organized, under your articles of organization, your business is organized, and that you definitely have a bank account. Some of the instances where there was individuals that had small businesses were trying to send the payroll protection loan to their personal accounts, and that wasn't able to happen. So it was a lot of things that hindered the businesses that really needed to get the loans from getting the loans, because their paperwork wasn't in order.
What I would like to do, Terry, for the second tranche of assistance for small business with the PPP. I don't know if they're going to still call it that, if they're going to call it something else. Mm-hmm. But the second tranche of funding coming out of the federal government to help local small businesses, I would like for us to do a show where we invite these businesses to tune in, and we do a tutorial.
Yeah. Okay.
We do a tutorial where we kind of go down the checklist, mm-hmm. and we kind of walk them through what they need to know.
That's right.
And they're able to, participate in real time interactively with us, submit mm-hmm. the question, ask questions. And so if it's something that I'm hoping that we can do, I don't think we should wait for the check, the ink to dry on the check. Right. I think we should stay ahead of it. Right. Maybe while we see that the progress is being made, we kind of maybe do like a week or two ahead. So at least when they apply, they're ready. They're right. equipped, they have the knowledge, they have the information, and we're there to help guide them through it, because obviously, who better than Terry Coxum, the former SBA advocate under the Obama administration, to know the do's and don'ts, to be able to provide the guidance through
Right.
that process, because a lot of people were frustrated. They either they couldn't respond fast enough, or they didn't, they weren't working with the right banks. We will have lenders as well that we are collaborating with, that we can also help assist them in, help them and navigate that process as well. So I'm hoping that we can do that as well, Terry.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. And it's something we can also do now, Anthony, because the EIDL loan is still available to small businesses. And so we can.
But people want free money, Pat. People want free money, Terry. They want free money. They don't want.
They want a grant.
They're like, I don't want to pay nothing back.
Right.
Give me some free money.
And I mean, rightfully so, right? If you're eligible for it, you should be able to get it, right? So yeah. Okay. So
yeah. But yeah.
I think one of the other things we need to offer, Anthony, is, and I put this together for a publication, we need to kind of make sure that we're letting them know the public-private partnerships that are offering grants right now. Because there were a few, and it's a pretty short window, right? So like, I know at least 3 went online today, but then they're saying that you have to have it filled out, I believe, by the 23rd, and that's like a couple of days away, so you don't have a lot of time to turn them around. And so, but it is grant money available for small businesses, and so I think that's one of the things that we can offer them is an opportunity to get grants if they are in need of grants through the public-private partnerships, and that's a good opportunity. Hi, Jessica.
Yeah, I don't think she was like, I brought her up. She was waving, so let me take her off. I wish she wasn't ready yet. So anyway, so one of the other things they talk about is paid leave, right? According to the survey that was done by a Bipartisan Policy Center, it says most businesses with fewer than 50 employees do not provide paid leave of any sort. It's not for lack of interest. Irrespective of political affiliation, there is a broad support among small business owners and executives for providing paid leave. It's expensive and can be difficult to manage when one of your 11 employees is gone for some period of time. But the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, passed by the House of Representatives and supported by President Trump, mandates paid leave by employers with fewer than 500 employees and offers tax credits. See, that's the operative word, the way they get tax credit to cover the costs. And so some companies may be reluctant to do it, but if on the other side of that, if they get some sort of tax credit for providing leave, it's kind of like sort of it's a fair exchange of that expense. You know what I mean? And then you have here, you talk about here, let's see here, waivers are available for businesses with fewer than 50 employees, although they are concerned about what this type of mandate could mean. At the time of when they passed it, Senator Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has also promised then a bill with assistance for small businesses as well. So that's just another example of, I see Jessica there. And so let me bring up Jessica just to say hi to Jessica.
Okay.
Hey,
hi.
Jessica, what's going on, Jessica?
How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. Sorry.
Where did she go? Where did she go?
Sorry, I had a little internet problem.
I had one earlier. I understand it.
Was I spotty?
A little bit earlier.
You were a little bit pixelated. Yeah.
But I'm better now.
Yeah, you're better now.
Yes, you are. So so we see that your guest is they're in the studio, they're in queue, and we're gonna bring them up shortly. I think we have about 5 minutes before we bring in your guests, and we segue to the Tasters segment. But we were talking about some of the challenges for small businesses, right? Obviously, the first wave caught everybody by surprise. No one was expecting this. But Terry and I were talking about they should be a certain level of readiness in the second wave. Now, some say it's not the second wave. Some say it's the third wave, right? And so what is the second or the third that we should, at this point, be able to now prepare ourselves for whatever the impact is going to be for that second, third wave? Do you agree?
That's right.
Have you guys talked about Colorado today at all?
No, what happened?
I heard that Colorado might be shutting down.
Completely.
Really?
That's rumor, but that's what I heard.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
interesting.
And Terry was,
That's Thanksgiving, holidays. Yeah, that's what I heard. But Colorado's pretty bad up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Terry said that New York was starting to restaurants were now starting to impose shutting down at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, yeah.
So you can't serve liquor at the bar, right? There's no liquor at the bar.
You could do takeout. You can do takeout at the restaurants now, but I believe in the first wave of it, you could actually, when you did your takeout order, you can have your takeout, your meal, and your alcohol. It's my understanding now that it's just your meal before 10. Your meal and alcohol before 10. After 10 is just basically your meal, because you were able to take out your alcohol, and that's a lot of businesses said that really saved them because people were buying.
Well, that was my point because when I owned a restaurant in New York, right, the real profit was in the alcohol. Okay, yeah. I mean the food stuff was great,
Sure.
Yeah, people love your food, love your customer service, but the profit was in the alcohol. So if you now have these strict, these tough restrictions on alcohol, and then you have to close down at 10 o'clock, that severely impacts the restaurant business. Or I mean, how do you make money?
Yeah.
Well, Anthony and Terry, I think also people like after 10, they kind of get loosey-goosey, so they might take off their mask and kind of be exposed. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think that's kind of a reason. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You're dining and 10 o'clock, time to go home, because after you have maybe a couple cocktails, you might want to.
But it's interesting though, because as you guys are speaking, I'm thinking about the whole pandemic, the entire time the pandemic was here in the tri-state area, the liquor stores were still open. The restaurants were closed, the schools were closed, and the libraries were closed. You named it, but the liquor stores were still open.
Well, yeah.
I started down. I was like, "Is that an essential service?"
Homeschooling moms, Terry, it is.
Yeah. I guess.
So,
I'm just kidding. That's like the big joke about homeschooling.
So Terry, who do you have? Talk to us. Who do you have? What are you going to be talking about on your segment on Tasters?
Oh, you mean Jessica?
I mean Jessica. Sorry.
Yes, I have two guests who are here from St. Croix and who just opened up a new business. So I can't wait to introduce them. It's Counterculture and Cuisine. It took me a couple minutes to take that down. So again, Counterculture and Cuisine. It's Patrick and his lovely girlfriend, Sierra. So anyway, they're going to be joining us, and they came up with a new product that's amazing for this whole COVID, pandemic.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they come in to your house, your establishment, and they create your gathering, your party. They do wine tastings. They come up with menus. With us, you can't really dine with more than 6 people at restaurants here on St. Croix. I know the other day I had people, we went to an establishment and she's like, no more than 6 people. But this is nice to engage, over the holidays. It's Thanksgiving, next week, Christmas parties. And it's nice for them to come in and they can educate us with wine and foods. How cool is that?
Hold that thought. We need to do the introduction of your segment. We neglected to do that, and then we'll pick it up on the other side of the introduction. Okay.
Okay.
I love that promo. That was a good promo. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tasters. We are featuring local chefs here on the island of St. Croix today. Patrick, are you guys there? Syria? Patrick? Yeah. They'll be tuning in. Syria, hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hi, Patrick. No, I've known Patrick for a long time. We go way back, back to the Cane Bay days.
Long time.
Remember those days, Patrick? Yes.
Yeah, it was
Syria,
like 12 years ago.
I'm good, and here we are back on North Shore, actually.
Yes, the best part of the island.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us for Tasters today. So we're super excited to hear about what you guys created in the food business here on St. Croix. Something that, people have done, but you guys are taking it on a different level. And I love your concept, and I love what you're doing. So let's introduce your business, Counterculture and Cuisine.
Yes. Sorry. So because of the whole COVID thing, this sort of made us take a step back and realize that there's an opportunity here for, people are still doing social distancing and they want to have gatherings. But this way, we bring the restaurant to the client, to the guests. We customize everything. We do wine tastings. We do wine dinners. We do wine education. It's a way that you can still be with your friends, have a great time. You don't have to clean. You don't have to cook, which is always a lot of fun to not have to do. But you still get the experience of going to a restaurant, but in the comfort of your own home. Syria is actually the mastermind behind the name of Counterculture Cuisine. So I'll let her tell you a little bit about it. Yeah.
Well, back in the 60s, this whole counterculture movement started, which just meant people that, had a different, norm and behavior. And here we are again with a whole entire new wave of different norms. But also, people still miss that elevated, elegant experience. There are so many catering companies that are out there, but not very few that really tune into that fine, upscale, thing that we're trying to do here.
Awesome.
Yeah, what she said.
Terry's my colleague. She's visiting from New York City. She's chiming in from New York. Terry always gets jealous because you guys have that greenery behind you. Unfortunately, I'm in my house. But she's telling us that she's going to come down. So Terry's very familiar with Tasters because she chimes in with us quite often. So Terry, thanks for joining the show.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I love the name. I love the concept, right? And so I think it's always important, especially Jessica was talking about it earlier, it's holiday time. And we want to have some normal feeling with everything else going on in the world. So I don't have to cook. I don't have to clean. I bring you in. I have my small gathering. I have a phenomenal time. And the thing that I like that Jessica talked about is the pairing, right? So not only am I going to have a phenomenal meal, you're going to tell me what wine I need to go with whatever that's on the plate. I think that's the extra for me, right? So I commend you on that.
Yeah. So, well, first, we never actually. So, thank you very much for having us on the show, Jessica.
Of course.
Yes. And so the idea with the whole tiered system is that if it's just you and 5 friends or you and 12 friends, to be spaced apart, then we can accommodate however it is that you want, and it's up to your palate and up to your discretion. Everything is customized. We have valet service. We offer live music. So it's sort of that you are out in a restaurant, not in your own home, but, like you said, you don't have to cook or clean, which is always the best part about it. But I promise the wine and the food would be the better part, definitely.
So real quick, just rewinding real quick. So valet, what are you referring to? Like a valet?
So like a valet service, right? So here on St. Croix, as y'all know, Terry, how often do you come down here?
Not often enough.
Okay.
But I used to cover the entire Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico when I was the region advocate under President Obama. So I'm very familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, you're familiar with it. All right. So there's a lot of amazing homes around here, but whenever you have a gathering, the parking is difficult. It's hard. And it could be at a different area. So we actually have a valet service that we will, park the cars for you whenever you come out. That way you don't have to worry about any of that. You just pull right up and you're good to go. So,
okay.
I think you guys are the only I think that you guys are the only ones that really offer that service.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
huge.
we are.
You know,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I
Let's,
was going to say it's definitely a fun niche.
yeah. So let's talk wine first, because I like your whole wine thing. So you do introductory courses. Like,
Yes.
I come in with some, you know, novices, and you could be like, you know, this is why we make this oaky Chardonnay, and this is what makes, you know. So okay, so you have novice classes, and talk to us about like the intermediate classes, the advanced courses, all that educational stuff regarding wine.
Right. Yeah. So we have multiple tools to help us with education. You know, I have a whole suitcase full of stemware, and it shows you why you should have a certain Chardonnay in the Chardonnay glass or Sauvignon Blanc glass. And then there's also an aroma kit called Le Nez du Vin. So the hardest part about wine is describing in verbiage, you know, just what it is that you smell or what it is that you're tasting. You know, so this kit and these classes are designed to help out with that. Now, people can do one class and just have fun, like a girls' or ladies' night, or even a guys' night.
That's
or
what
you
I
can
was
actually,
girls' night.
yeah. Or you can even actually do where if you want to get more serious about your education, you can do like a 3-class series and learn really about like different regions and different wines and why things taste so good. You know, so it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of different aspects of it. So it's something for everybody.
I just think about another opportunity for this, you know, being that I'm here in New York, and, you know, we can have a virtual happy hour, Jessica, and we can
we should.
Yeah.
Right? I invite you guys to come in and tell us, you know, you'll give it a little bit of advanced warning on what we need to pick up, right? And then we'll have a virtual, you can the taste and the smells, and I think they will be amazing. I think it will be amazing. We won't get to food. I have to come there for that.
Yeah.
Well, Pat, since they have their valet service, they'll valet it to my house.
That's it. That's right.
But no, we should. Let's plan on doing that.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm thinking while he's saying, I'm like, you know, it really, you know, sometimes when I'm having a certain steak and I'm thinking, okay, what goes best with this? And I see people, you know, that are like smelling it. I'm like, how do you know? Like by a smell or a taste?
Yeah.
Right? But that'll be perfect. That'll be perfect.
Yeah.
We're
you know, women actually have higher olfactory senses than men, so naturally y'all be able to taste the wine better than I'd be able to taste the wine.
Right.
Yeah. Syria is really good at it too, so she's come a long way with it. Yeah.
This is awesome. So we're having a virtual class around you guys.
So Syria, like, what kind of wine glasses do you guys like recommend that we buy? I'm just curious. Like what's the brand that you guys usually use?
The stemware that we have right now is
Rideau.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a universal glass that they have that we love the most. Say, you know, you're not going to go out and buy 6 different stemware to have for everywhere. Not only that, if you're hosting, you know, you need 6 of everything. That's more than you would have in your pantry normally. So the universal glasses are amazing. They're beautiful. I love the thickness of them. And they just really present nicely as well.
Yeah. I mean, the universal, the whole idea is that the bulb is larger. And so if it's Chardonnay or Sauvignon Blanc or a Cabernet, it'll still aerate as you're pouring it in. So you can still do the swirl. You can still see all that fun stuff with it. I would love to do a virtual tasting because as we're talking about it, I want a glass and swirl it and drink it right now, you know? So, yeah.
When you're live on TV, sometimes you're like,
this is actually one of my favorites, though.
I thought it was, okay. Oh, I like that one.
But this one, it's for my favorite kind of wine.
Champagne.
Which I know you ladies must love as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which one is that?
Which wine was that?
Which
champagne? The Belle Epoque.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's good stuff. Good bubbly.
Okay.
Okay, I'm thinking mimosas, Jessica. I'm thinking mimosas. She's like champagne. I'm thinking, hey, you know, this is another opportunity.
I'm up for whatever you want, Terry. let us know what what we're up for.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so the whole concept. So you guys go into people's houses. So basically, we contact you and we say, hey guys, we're having a dinner party for like 8 people.
Right. Yep.
And you guys do anything from like just canopies to appetizers, or you guys who are even offering, I saw on the paperwork, for five-course dinners.
Yeah, so we actually have a 5-course dinner coming up, wine paired dinner, but we do up to 9 courses. We bring all of our own plateware, all of our own stemware, all of our own napkins, silverware, everything, and then we take it all away whenever we're done. So if somebody called us up and wanted to have just a dinner for 8 people, then we would just ask, obviously dietary restrictions, allergies, that's the most important thing with that, and then what the preferences are, and then we just go off of that. We have some template menus, just to give people an idea of what we have and what we can do. But so right now I have about 3 other chefs that are on my roster as well. So if I can't do something, I have other chefs that can do that for me. Local chefs that are well known here on St. Croix. So it's not just us. We have a lot more people that help us out and make us more successful as well.
Pairing with all the best.
Yes, pairing with all the best. Yeah, definitely.
A question for you. What are some of the dishes that you specialize in? Because now you're making me, like, my palate is getting wet over here. I'm like, wait a minute. So a 9-course meal? I don't think I've ever had
yeah. So for the 5-course meal that we have coming up, we have, I'll give you just a quick rundown of it. The first appetizer, there's shrimp scampi crostinis. The second one is called a penne salad. Has green apple. It has pear. It has local greens. It's a champagne vinaigrette. We have our 3rd course is going to be it's a sake marinated salmon. Our 4th course is a duet de boeuf. It's a cut of ribeye. So it's the eye of the ribeye that we have blue cheese crusted, and then the other top cap of it, we make a duxelle. We roll the top cap in the duxelle. We sear it off. And we slice it up, and it has a Cabernet demi-glaze with that as well. A little bit of sweet potato purees. Yeah, it's going to be really, really fun.
Amazing. Wow, that sounds super amazing.
Did you say what was for dessert?
So for dessert, we're going to have like a 2 different types of dessert. We're going to have a creme brulee style, and we're also going to have a biscotti with an espresso. It's sort of like a beignet, but it's, a little bit different. So
amazing. Yeah. I'm hungry.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Terry, they're just tasty.
You're breaking up.
It's smaller portion.
Yeah, right. Smaller portions. So these aren't all large plates. So the idea is that we don't want to overfill you, but you don't want to go out to eat afterwards or anything. Obviously, the dinners are always going to be filling. And it all depends on the courses that you get as well. So if you go 3 courses, then the courses will be a little bit bigger, of course. 5 courses, they're apportioned properly, so that way you will definitely love the food, and you're gonna want more of it. But the next course is just gonna keep getting better and better.
Nice. Okay.
That's the idea. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So back to dinner parties, because obviously I'm going to book one for the holidays.
Right. Yeah.
Do you provide the wait staff too?
Yes.
Yes. So for dinner parties, they don't all have to be a sit-down dinner. Obviously, if you're going to have 20 of your closest friends that you're already, in range with at your home, you may not want to have a sit-down with all of them. So we do parties as well, where we have live entertainment to add some ambiance in the corner, and then we do stationary apps as well as wait staff that provides past apps, bartender there, and so we're catered to the whole party. Whatever your mood or theme is, that's where we're gonna go for.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we got a whole crew.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys typically charge per person, or how does that all work?
So usually it will be it's per person. And so you can do anywhere from 2 people all the way up to 50 people. All depends on what they're doing for social distancing and everything right now. Of course, we have to stay within the guidelines to make sure everybody's safe and, just conscious of that. So the dinner that we have coming up on the 28th is for 50 people, 5 courses. We have a wait staff of 3. I'm working with their local chef here. And then, all of that good stuff that comes along with it.
But we are using a venue for that space.
Yeah.
It's not at a private home.
Yeah, it's a venue.
People, so that we are able to distance well enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the valley parking, is that also included in the price per person, or how does that work?
Yeah, Yeah, so it's all packaged up together in one bundle. So if you were to reach out to us and say, hey, we just want to do a dinner for 4 people, then we go over the pricing with you at that time, depending on how many courses you want, and how tiered you want it. If you wanted to get if you wanted wines with it, if we want cocktails, we have craft cocktail specialty programs as well. So there's a lot of different fun things. Right now, people are trying to go out. You can't really go to bars or anything like that, but we can bring it to you. We can show you how to make craft cocktails yourself. We bring all of the ingredients, and it's a fun class that you can do. We have artists that we also work with, so that way the artist will come to your house. And so it's basically like a champagne-ing event. They will provide you with all the art tools. We will provide the appetizers, the past champagne. And then so you have like a little party where, instead of going out, you are in the comfort of your own home, and you're still enjoying all the things that you would if you did go out, So it's the idea that you're not really missing out on anything right now, but you're just still being safe with everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So there's different
I love the concept. I love it.
Me too.
I love it. And I think this is the perfect time. I mean, obviously with the pandemic, but it's the holiday season. Like, who wouldn't have you guys come in? I mean, no brainer.
Yeah.
So, then you can ask your guests, can you all chip in? This is how much it's going to be for the team. So let's talk about real quick a little bit more on your past appetizer. I love that one.
Say that one again. You broke up.
The appetizers?
Past appetizers. I wanted to touch base on those again because I think this is going to be a lot of people will do like a cocktail party for the holidays, like an ugly sweater party. Have you guys come in, do some past, and it'd be fun to do a little bit of wine tasting.
Right. Yeah. So it's there's a whole, the past appetizers is a lot of fun because everybody loves to nibble. You're engaging, you're talking, you're nibbling on the food, and we even pair that with wine if you wanted to, or you can just do whatever. Like some people don't drink wine, which is fine. Some guys drink beer and that's it. Some people just like spirits. So. It's the best part about it is that we customize everything for the guest or for the client.
Wow. Okay.
And so if, whenever we do your party, Jessica, I know you love wine, so I'll definitely bring you some good stuff.
Yeah. Limited to wine as well. As we are in people's home, we could do a craft cocktail experience too. If, you ladies want a vodka day or something like that. The best part about being in people's homes as well is that we can even peek in their gardens or around their property and see what they have growing fresh there and incorporate that into their signature cocktail for their home.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, because Terry, we have gardens year round here.
Yeah, that's right. Because of the weather.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize.
I can see a mango infused cocktail thingy going on there. I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people don't realize this type of flora that they have growing around their houses. They just see these pretty flowers or this fun fruit, but we actually come in and educate you about what that is, how you use it, the health benefits for all that. So it's for us, it's about education as well as enjoyment. We want to, everybody now is way more conscious about what they're putting in their body. And so we want to emphasize that fact. We want to help you realize what this does to you, why this is good for you, and the benefits of it. So
right. That sounds amazing. I mean, Jessica, this is okay, we're doing our virtual event. I mean, I know you got your holiday party planned, but we're definitely doing our virtual event.
We'll do something with you. I'll talk to you guys when we're offline. But and Terry, we'll all engage. But that would be fun. I might even have some of my girlfriends come.
That's right. We'll have a virtual happy hour. I mean,
it's not bad at 2:30, right, guys?
Like 7 o'clock somewhere.
Like we're on the Today Show drinking wine at 9 a.m.
Yeah, 9 a.m. is 7 o'clock somewhere. Somewhere has a time.
Yeah.
So, guys, let us know how can our viewers, because we have so many viewers that tune into our show every week. Like, how can they find you? Tell us about our website, a telephone number. Give us some information.
All right. So, all right. Hope everybody's got their pen and papers ready. Okay. I'm going to go and write it down for you. The number is 843-754-5895 or 340-719-5896. All right, so that's our numbers. And then our email is Patrick Kralik, so PatrickKralik RICKKRALIK at ymail.com. Yes, ymail. I know it's weird. Not Gmail.
Ymail always, it always throws me off because I was like,
it throws everybody off. I think that it's a typo.
He's like, is this serious? Okay, ymail.com.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get the team to put you guys on but once we so everyone can see it. But I'm gonna try, to get us on the program so people have the numbers, they have your website. Now, is your website?
What is the website?
No, we're actually not doing a website right now. We're on a very small island, so we're only so far reaching out to the people that are here. So it's been mainly word of mouth up till now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are going to launch social media this weekend, and so you'll be able to link to that, and we'll have more photos so we can showcase as well.
So you're
word of mouth is really good so far.
And Twitter, that's what you're thinking, Instagram and Twitter, and then that way we'll be able to kind of see the pictures. Okay, awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for that, Jessica.
Absolutely.
But you know what? It's funny. You guys, as you know, like after you do this wine dinner, this 5-course wine dinner that you're doing this week, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth is awful.
Yeah,
And
St.
that
Croix is
helps.
a small place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, so you know what? I need to book my date before that wine club.
You're gonna.
So the wine dinner's on. Yeah.
Okay, so Terry and I want to revisit with you guys regarding the virtual wine tasting. So what do we need to prepare for that? What are your thoughts? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but
All right. So if you're a virtual wine tasting, if you're not on St. Croix, if you're in Miami or New York City like Terry is, so we would set it up that we would tell you the wines that you would need to go out and get. If you're on St. Croix, we have a pickup service for you, so that way you can pick up your wines. It has some fruits and snacks in it with it as well to go well with the wines. And then as we do the virtual tasting, we go through that together. So it's all included with that. Now, Terry, we'd love to definitely be able to enjoy this with you. So what we would do for people that are in the stateside or not here on St. Croix is that I would email you the wines, the vintages, everything like that, and where you can get it at as well. I'll do the research for you.
nice.
So that way you don't have to try to walk around and find it. We do all the research for you. This place has it over here. You're located over here. So it makes it the easiest way possible.
We could even do a suggested grocery cart, so you could go to your local Whole Foods or wherever you shop and have a little thing to pick up of the stuff that we've selected to pair.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. That's
So,
awesome.
Terry, why don't you get 2 of your friends,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll get 2 of my friends.
Let's do it. I'm just going to bring my daughters. I have a 30-year-old and a 24-year-old. I'll just invite them over.
There you go.
Time to learn some wine education.
That would be so much fun, guys. Okay, so we'll get together, like I said, offline to figure out when exactly we could do that. But that sounds fun. So Terry, you need to get fancy stemware.
Yeah. So the stemware. Hold up the stemware.
Do the little,
universal one. The universal stemware.
Oh, this was my fancy flute, but yes.
I've never seen it like that.
So there's universal stemware out there. Reidel, Reidel. They have a universal wine glass. It's a beautiful glass, and that's typically the one that I would recommend to use.
But it still features the tall, area that we have here, so you get all of the sensation. So you're not having that big round, unsexy glass that everybody has.
Okay. Reidel. Okay. So we'll have to order my stemware first, and let's get it.
I mean, can't they find the Reidels they have to sell them in New York City somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure.
For when I do my food and wine experience, we order them in, but we do them by the cases. But and I don't think we sell them on island, but I'm sure they sell them at
Any restaurants usually has it.
Anything here. This is great. All right, this is awesome. Awesome sauce, guy. Oh, thank you.
We need our little dump bucket.
Yeah. So you do
Okay. Some people don't really like to dump their wine. They'll just drink the whole thing, but that's totally up to you.
We'll have a small. We'll have a small.
Yeah. So tell us, we don't have much time left, guys. So just tell us anything else that you want to talk about promoting your new business, your new company, what you guys are doing here on St. Croix. I know, you guys are, focusing just on St. Croix right now, may expand later on to like maybe St. Thomas, St. John, you never know. I love, and Terry, I'll send you the email that they sent me regarding the menu choices, which are amazing. But
okay.
again, you let us know how we can find you. I'll make sure that goes on the website somewhere in your email address. But anything else you guys want to add?
So we just want to, thank you very much for having us on the show. We just want to say that there's a lot of different catering companies out there. There's totally like the saturated market, but this is something different. This is where we definitely bring the restaurant to you, to your friends, to your family, and let you actually enjoy, so we take all the worrisome out of any sort of party that you're going to have. It's just for you to enjoy that time with especially during the holiday times, with your loved ones and friends.
Right.
And it makes sure that, we did just start the business about a month and a half ago, but we've already gotten a lot of really great feedback about it. A lot of people have been inquiring about the wine education classes. So it's really fun to see how interested people really are. I'm very passionate about wine. I'm a certified sommelier through the Court of Master Sommeliers. That is, that's always been a passion of mine. Siri is a very avid eater and drinker of wine and food. And she has a very good palate for that, so she is definitely, she's my taster. She's one of the guinea pigs that we use, and she loves it. And she has great suggestions as well. So together, we're doing a really fun thing here. And so we're just really happy that we can share it with everybody else.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love the name, Countercultural Cuisine. Love it. I think it's great. It's catchy. Good job, guys, on that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll get with you guys regarding our next show, regarding
of course
whatever we're gonna do. But thank you guys so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having us. Absolutely, Terry. It's a pleasure to see you.
Terry,
Terry.
Terry, I'm just curious. What's the temperature in New York City?
A little less than 41 degrees.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cold.
Too much of a glare to show you the ocean behind us, but
Yeah. Not too happy. Wish you could like bottle it and send some this way, just a little bit. We're all
nice.
up this morning, like hats and it was it's layers.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah, not at all.
We're at 82 degrees right here. Beautiful, windy, breezy. Gorgeous.
Yeah,
Be
we're
jealous.
getting the winds
Be
now.
jealous.
Yeah. I am.
Yeah.
Hey Terry, pretty soon, since we've been down here for so long, we'll be like, oh, it's too cold to go in the ocean. That's how spoiled we are.
That's horrible. It's never if it's 71 degrees, we can go in the ocean. Shucks, if it's 65,
Thank you guys very much.
right,
Everyone will check them out. Countercultural Cuisine. We look forward to having our wine pairing or wine tasting with you very soon. Terry, I'll see you hopefully next week, right?
Yay! Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Bye. Enjoy the rest of your day.
See you all later. Thank you.